There's a lot of attention surrounding Ashes of Creation now that the verbal NDA has been lifted, with many creators and non-creators alike sharing their experiences from the very beginning of the project and the progression it has made. There seems to be a sense of validation for the hope and excitement of achieving the scope laid out by Intrepid Studios. What is it about Ashes of Creation that has everyone so excited and hopeful anyways? In this video, we're going to look at what I believe is the answer to that question, something I like to call breaking the mold. Hey everyone! Before we get into today's video, just a quick reminder that Ashes of Creation, at the time of this recording anyway, is still in an Alpha 1 preview build under a visual NDA. Anything and everything you see or hear about this game is subject to change. That being said, this is an open development project where we as community members are encouraged to share our thoughts, ideas, and concerns in a positive way. This is how we do our part to help this project succeed, and I encourage all of you to join in the discussion in the comments below. If we want to talk about how Ashes of Creation looks to break the mold, we first need to understand what that mold is and what it represents. In the early days, everything was new. Studios took risks on what they hoped would be intriguing elements of their game, which would in turn live or die on those systems. Then future projects would come along, implement and attempt to improve on what was previously successful. We often compare MMORPGs nowadays to World of Warcraft, but even WoW has changed vastly since its release. So much so that they've re-released the original game again. Over the many expansions, we've seen it evolve into something that has incredibly watered down RPG elements and become more of a lobby kind of game. Oh, and let's not forget the microtransactions we see in so many games, not just MMORPGs. This is the mold I speak of. And while most new MMORPGs do offer something that looks to be unique or even a new system or playstyle, it is often rushed to release and focused on endgame style content that is super quick and easy to access from anywhere in the game world. Now, there are many ways Ashes of Creation looks to be different, but perhaps none bigger than the fact it is being openly developed by an independent studio and privately funded to completion. This means there are no shareholders to please, no sales targets to achieve, and a desire from the studio as a whole to finish the game of their dreams. This is a true passion project. The open development is huge as it involves the player base, it involves us. In the process, even before the true developmental alpha is ready, and encourages community feedback, suggestions, and criticisms to make the game as refined as possible, while adhering to their 5 pillars of design: player interaction, player agency, risk versus reward, reactive world, and engaging in immersive story. I did a whole video recently on the RPG elements and why I'm excited for the story and lore in Ashes of Creation. That'll be linked in the card up on the top right of the video. This project being driven by passion and the open development process aren't the only mold-breaking factors. The studio also promises there will be no pay-to-win elements to the game. There will be a cash shop that will offer cosmetics exclusively, but the in-game armor and cosmetics will be on par with those, and in some cases even better. You do not have to pay to look good in Ashes of Creation. The game will have a meaningful leveling system that sees raid and dungeon content starting at low levels and being available all the way up to max level. Max level or end game content will be very community driven, and much of it will be gated behind the game's node system. Think of the world as being divided into 103 unique regions, these regions being called nodes, And as players spend time doing things in a specific node, it levels up all the way up to a maximum level of 6, also known as a metropolis. As a node levels up, neighboring nodes become vassals and are restricted in maximum level to be one lower than the highest one sharing a border. Also, as a node levels up, the world around it changes. New enemies appear, new crafting materials drop or appear. Dungeons, raids, and other hidden secrets will become available, and maybe even a legendary world boss will awaken. As it stands currently, only 5 metropolises can exist at any given time, meaning sieges to destroy advanced nodes, allowing for other nodes to be leveled up and unlocking new content, will be what keeps endgame from being overly repetitious and stale. On the class and character side of things, we are given full creative freedom over what kind of gear our character gets to wear. Want to be a cleric who wields a big two-handed axe and has a more offensive approach to battle? Have at it. If you want to be a mage who wears plate armor with a one-handed weapon and a shield, like what we saw Steven don in some of the latest footage shown by the studio, then you can. This freedom, along with the artisan system, which will give crafters a degree of control over what stats appear on their masterpieces, can allow players to really customize their character to their playstyle. Combine this with the augmentation system, where you can modify your skills with the flavor of another archetype and spec your limited skill points into the passive, active, and or weapon skill trees. The build options quickly multiply, and gone will be the stereotypical class builds we've come to know in the genre. Unless you choose to make your character more traditional anyway, that's your call. As I mentioned at the top of the video, Ashes of Creation is just coming into a developmental Alpha 1 stage, where we are testing the foundational mechanics and capabilities of the game. The unique features I covered here are almost certainly going to be tweaked, but the overall concept I don't see changing or going away. Intrepid is well aware of what scope creep is, and have folks on the team who are very good at making sure we don't wind up with another Star Citizen scenario. But with all that said, I turn the question to you folks. What unique features are you excited to see in Ashes? What features did I miss in this video? What features did I list here that have been done comparatively by other projects? Sound off in the comments below, and I will see you all in the next one.